Alright, it is August 23rd, and I decided to stop in at the Ulrich Fossil Gallery. Someone that I ran into at the quarry that watched my channel, which I thought was really cool. They mentioned this place, and they mentioned they do diggings, and so last night I decided to go and make a reservation and start digging at 9 o'clock. I'm just waiting for someone to show up so we can go down to the quarry and do some digging. I heard it was a little bit different than what you would normally get at American Fossil or even Fossil Safari, because at those places they take the material down for you, and I was told what happens here is you actually dig out of the wall. So be a different experience and be kind of exciting. So as soon as someone gets here, we will make our way that way. But let's check this out. It's actually really cool. So they actually have some dinosaur tracks out front, which is actually really cool. I mean, it's not the best size reference, but these are pretty massive and really cool. Over here it says Pittsburgh and Midway Coal Mining Company employees are responsible for the recovery and preservation of these dinosaur tracks, April 1986. So that is really cool. Go on, little buddy. Hey, how you doing? You are cute. Alright, so we just got up to the quarry. For those that want to come here, take the van. Don't take your car. Trust me on this, because it's a very bumpy ride.
This rock right here, the Primo digging rock of the splits, this naturally splits apart into sections like this. These are basically just fault lines, and we kind of dig section by section. So ideally we wouldn't have it staircased like this. What we want in a perfect world is to take these layers all the way down so that the whole section is flat from back to front, and then we work from the front all the way back and peel off whole sheets all at once. I'm gonna start here. Give you an idea what we're doing. That kind of looks like it might be sticking a little bit, so might have to jump around. Yeah. Take a look at the end of your blade. There's going to be a rounded edge and a flat side. You want the flat side down. So I'm going to start that against the rock. Rounded edge up. Tap it in. You can see that's popping up pretty nicely already.
Yep.
And your mission to get the biggest slabs you can all at once. You kind of want to get a row of blades going. Tap them in each a bit at a time. So let's see. Give her a tap. Sweet. Like I said, I can see it kind of sticking right here.
Yeah.
So show you what I mean. It's not really wanting to go in on that same level very well. Might be sticking a little bit there as well. But maybe. Thank you. I drive the blade in kind of that way, yep, under the stuck section, and we're still making progress. Slightly heavier hammer would be nice for this, but to make this work, this is good for your thinner layers and lighter rock. This stuff right here is kind of your happy medium. It's not too dense and heavy, but it's still pretty manageable to work with. It's still splitting apart pretty nicely. Stuff further down the hill, it's going to get harder and denser. This section up here is going to get thinner, softer, kind of easier. But at the same time, you have to be more careful with it.
Now you don't want to work that left edge more.
For the purposes of demonstration, I'm not focusing on it.
Okay.
If I was doing this perfectly, I'd keep lining up blades. I kind of test them. If they come out really easily, they're not really doing much.
Right.
So to your point, I'll work this side a little bit more. There we go. Let's see how this does. Okay. It's not the biggest slab. If we'd been a little more diligent, like I said, made sure this side was popped all the way to the line. Made sure this side was popped. So that is one of two things. Either just sort of an illusion, because you kind of alternate between these lighter and darker layers. There are growing seasons, non-growing seasons. So what I have here, I think, is just sort of where you're seeing this slightly lighter layer peeled back a little bit, and you see part of this darker layer.
Gotcha.
Also could be, I like to say, plant matter of unidentified origin. So you find pieces of plant that maybe someone in the world could tell you what species they are, but oftentimes they're just like little reeds. They look like long blades of grass. Have you even heard like seaweed? I don't know if seaweed was supposed to have been grown in the lake. But if something is like a leaf or a palm leaf, palm frond rather, you'll be able to tell.
Okay.
And then you also find hunks of wood, but they'll be a lot thicker than that. They've got a lot more texture to them. So yeah, anyway, there's a fish right there.
Yep.
And the fish are a lot darker than they are at the other quarries.
They vary. They vary a lot. This is a pretty strong positive, so pretty much the whole fish is, well...
Back up.
Yeah. The head is gone, but, the bit of fish we have is all there,
Yep.
rather than being on the other side of the sandwich. Once you get a piece like this, you can see there's more splitting you can do on it.
Yep.
Generally, the thinner you split things down, the more you're going to find. Bearing in mind that it can't be so thin that it's not going to make it down the hill and it's not going to make it back home, right? They're going to pack everything up.
Yeah.
So that right there is really as thin as you'd want a piece. The softer it's going to be, just the more rainwater it collects, and the thinner it's going to split. Also, the orange coloration there, that's ash, and it soaks up a lot of water. So the more orange your rock is, generally kind of the softer it is. But getting your pieces out on your pallet, out in the sun, assuming the sun comes out, letting them dry out is one of the best things you can do as far as making sure they're sturdy and safe to pack up. So there's fish. Let's just, yeah, get more of there. So you can see why it's called the split quarry. Fish splits in half in between the layers, unlike the 18-inch where they're embedded. I saw Mike showing you earlier that demo piece where you're gonna have to prep them out. They're still encased in that rock. They still have a layer of rock on top that has to be prepped away. These come out pre-prepared. So this is a good place to take people for their maiden voyage.
All right, so yeah, we got a fish here. The rest of it's right up here. It's kind of small. And you got a piece of poop right there. You will find a lot of poop. Let's just see what we got on this side here. Hey, first fish of the day. Look at that. Cute little guy. We'll keep that one. We got a little fish over here too. And it looks like, so we very carefully flip this over. I don't think I'll be able to keep it in one piece, but there's a small fish right here too underneath. It's not bad for my first flip. So We're going to very carefully, the fish is mostly intact. We're going to very carefully set this aside. If we had some sunshine, we'd be able to use the light to kind of see if there's anything else underneath. For now, we're just going to put this right here for a moment. Come back over here. Oh, give this one to flip. Anything on this side? Nope, nothing there. And then we come over here. You get this little section. Very carefully pull it out. Flip it up. Got a fish right there. Got a partial right there, which means the rest of it's right there. We have a small fry, fish fry, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some more flipped open here. See what we get. How easy that slides is right in there. And we're just gonna kind of do this. That way some air gets in there. Makes like a little cushion. Oh, yeah, what's the split right there? It's okay. Nothing in it. However, I think we should kind of come in. If we can get this kind of up like that. I did split there. That's not a problem. It's not a big deal. Got another split there. Let's go ahead. I think for this I'm gonna grab my phone here. I'll do a short form content. All right, we got another flip here. Oh, it broke. That's okay. And look at that. We got fish. Nice and full. Here's the other side. Nice. It's gonna be a really thin layer though, because if you look in here, I'm not gonna have a super thick. It's gonna be pretty thin. That's okay. But yeah, this is pretty fun so far. Still a good fish. Little fish. Little's not bad. Let's go ahead and use both hands here. And got poop, and just poop. Set it over here, out of the way. Come over here. Get a nice big plate. And we have a small fry right there. Honestly, what's right here? There's a bump right here. Not sure where that bump could be, but let's do this here. Well, this stuff's pretty thin, breaks pretty easy. Set it aside so I can ask the tour guide what it could be, maybe. Let's go ahead and get the small fry out. Carefully. Oh, broke it too close. No, still okay. It's still okay. We're still good. Let's put it right there. And then, oh, we still have this one over here. Uh-oh. That's okay. They're pretty thin slabs. No fish there. Come over here. Ah, nice. And we have another fish right there. And something right here. I can't tell what that is. But we have fish, little fish. And I'm just gonna do this. Just easier to move. And then we still have this plate right here. Go ahead and stuff is this stuff splits so beautifully. Oh, what is that? I don't know what that is, but that's really cool. Oh, what is that? Got a fish underneath there too. They're right there for right now. Oh no, it's gonna want to split right there. Dang it. I kinda wanna get that one piece if I can. Okay. Nothing on that side. Let's set this right here for right now. I'll get back to that. Alright. Oh, that's a beautiful fish right there. Beautiful. So there's exploded fish right here underneath. And nothing here on the other side. See, that is in the corner, so there's a fish there. But it's still a pretty thick slab. So let's go ahead and split it again. So we're gonna bring it down here. We're gonna grab one of these smaller chisels, or nothing too fancy. And let's put this right here. Just tap, tap, tap. And then we have another little tap, tap, tap. Let's keep doing that all the way around here. Tap, tap, tap. Give a little wiggle. Actually, this stuff's pretty soft. Oh, that's all right. Tap, 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 tap. Oh. There we go. And no more fish. What we're going to do with this piece, though, so I do have this little fish here that I kind of like. We're just going to do this. We're going to... Oh, that works. So this stuff being pretty soft, so you just got to be careful. So you don't break it any more than it already is. Come down here. Then all right, that's there. So my fish right here, right there. It's my fish. We have this nice big plate. We have my fish over here too. Just gotta be careful. And I should have kept one of these for leverage. In here, lift it up a little bit so I can grab it. And then, all right, nothing yet. Lift it up. And look at that, nice. There's another one over here too, right there. So we have a couple fish on this side. Little fry there. Looks like most of it's here on this other side. Nice. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Shame most of it's on this side. That's okay. That's okay. So we're gonna very gently. We're gonna bring this down to the ground. It's a little heavy. Just like that. And I'll have to split it again right here very carefully to try to get those out. What's nice about working like these big plates here, if you get enough of the shims in place, and you have a nice clean break all the way around, you have one of these flat shovels here. And if you wiggle it up and down, you get airflow underneath the plate, and eventually the whole plate will come loose. Because the more more surface area you have, the better chances of finding fish that you have that are complete. So if I was recording, I should have done it, but yeah, it's nice to be able to get the airflow, air cushion underneath there, up and down, and eventually it just comes loose. I'm already winded, but it pays to check before you dig, because I was working over here and I took a break. I saw this. Got a couple fish there. In order to get to it, I had to move this big block. Again, using the shovel and getting big, get in there, you just do this. And the bigger you get, the bigger air cushion gets in there, and it separates the slab from the ground. Well, I had to move this out of the way, and there's another fish. Look at the size of the thing. Oh, I need to get these out. This is awesome. So when you get done getting your fossils, you bring it back down here to the main center, and they will cut it for you, and that way you can save a little bit of space. So let me show you what's happening right now. So he's using a tile saw, or a special tile saw, in order to cut these down. That way it's nice and square, nice and clean, makes it easier for packing up. Alright, our tour guide, John, he cut up all the fossils. Now we're going back inside the museum here to get some paperwork to show us what we found. So let's go do that. Alright, I'm done here at Ulrich's. What happened was they gave me a little piece of paper that says, congratulations, you dug your own 52 million year old fossil fish. And they give the little list of all the fish that you can find in the limestone. This is a great place. So if you're in Kemmerer, stop by, check out the museum here. But here's the thing: if you want to dig in the quarry, schedule in advance, because it is a very more personalized experience. As far as like, it's not you don't have like a dozen people digging with you. It does depend how many guides are out working here, but it's a much smaller based tour guide system, so you can be digging with a couple other people, and you have a choice of picking in the wall. It's actually really fun. So highly recommend this place. But let's go back to the shop and see what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and start off here. So this was part of that big plate that I was super stoked to find. Unfortunately, it did break. I am gonna attempt to glue it back together, because this is the head right. Actually, sorry, that's the head there. This is the other side of the head. And so what happened was the fish kind of like, it was decomposing at an angle, so like the head had went down into the layer. So I had to try to attempt to glue the head back on. This is the reason why I keep a lot of my scraps, that way I can use the scraps kind of like piece things back together. As far as like, even if it's not the same exact pieces, because it's gonna be a weird, I believe it went like kind of like something like that, so it's kind of a weird shape. Because what happened was I was trying to separate this from this. So this was actually on the back side of that plate, so we have a bigger fish here. Now, it's not going to be a complete fish because this is the head, so it's missing part of its head. There's a reason I keep them, even if they're not complete. They're good practice pieces, because that was really cool to find. So we have this, there's the other part of the tail, and that's a pretty big fish. Pretty big fish. So that was on the back side of this plate. It was super hard to separate the plates, because this fish was in a weird angle on the back side. If I had cut it out, or if I had split it on the center, or you try to cut it out, I think it was on the back side of like somewhere over here. So I would have had to make a sacrifice, and I didn't want to do that. So I always glue things back together and try to repair it. Here is the rest of the table. So again, these were at Ulrich's. This was these are fished out on 8/23 of 2024. Now, next to this big plate that I had dug up, there was this fish right here. Now I did have to already glue this back together because it had broke at the quarry right here, down this way. And this is part of the head right there. But everything, it's mostly there. Now there are a couple surprises on this plate. I believe there's a fish right here, and I think there may be a fish right here too, like a small fish. So there's a potential of 3 fish right here. big one, a couple small ones. One of these for sure, and then one of them was kind of a questionable. They are a little darker. The way that I was told is this is kind of more of the central center of the lake for that Green River Formation, and so it was like colder and saltier, so things preserved a little bit better. Just for comparison, let's see here. These are from for American Fossil. So see how brown that one is. So these fish that come from Ulrich's are just a little darker. Much darker. And so there is a little bit of comparison there. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool fish that I kept out. I didn't have to cut any of this stuff down. The tour guide that we had, when you get done with the quarry, they go back down to the gallery and they cut the fish for you. And you just kind of mark where you want them cut and they'll cut it for you. And our tour guide was John. So John, if you're happening watching this, thank you again for cutting these. You did an awesome job. And thank you for the help while we were there. And like this right here, this is actually a piece of wood, but this is like super fragile. I was trying to prep some of it out, and it's just falling apart, and so it's not gonna be that good. There was a partial fish in that one too. And then one of my favorite pieces was this coprolite, and I don't know if you can see it, but it has some vertebrae. I'm keeping this one. I'm not selling this one. Some of the stuff I will sell over a period of time, once I go through and kind of prep some of it and clean some of it up. A few pieces I'm probably going to keep just because they're neat. I think that was a turtle poop. And another poop right there. That's a fish poop. You're going to find a lot of poops if you go out there. I mean, to any of the quarries, really. And you can also find some really small ones. So we have a little fry here. Look at that little guy. Little bitty fry. Fish fry. But there's so many. Like, look at this little guy. Look at that one. And this is a bigger bone from a bigger fish. I found that separate from everything else. I kept it. I thought it was cool. And then what was really neat is this right here. This is actually a fossilized leaf. And I wasn't expecting to find something like that out there. So I thought that was a really neat find. So that's one side. And I managed to have the other side of it too. So I have both sides. I'm going to keep that. And then we do have some fish that are not, completely uncovered. I do have to do some prepping on these. So that's a pretty good sized fish, fully complete. And then I kept this one. This is a very thin plate. Just got to glue this back together. And then prep it out. And the cute little fish right there. Some of these don't even need to be really prepped except for cleaning away some of the matrix of the limestone that had like powdered up on there. But I got so many little fish. And I'm very happy with what I got too. And look at that. Look at the detail on that one. So I'm happy with what I got from this little trip right here. This quarry is a know before you go quarry, so that means you have to reserve it in advance. I will have a link to the website in the description of this video. That way, if you would like to go here, you can plan in advance, make sure that you have time set aside, and make sure they have availability because you never know. So plan in advance, schedule in advance. I'll have a link in the description. But again, my experience was amazing. I loved it. I love the fact that you can dig straight out of the wall, and it was quiet. That's also a plus side. And then, of course, the tour guide. Our tour guide was awesome. Cut down all the fossils and saved me a bunch of time and space in my truck. Oh, man. I'm going back. So if you're watching this, you should go too. Again, I'll have all the links in the description of this video to the website. You need to go. It's a need-to-go place. And then when you have time, after you get done digging there, you go up the road a little bit further, and there's the Fossil Butte Visitor Center. That's a must-stop place too. Trust me, it's worth it. There's a big wall of coprolites in the bathrooms. Well, at least I got to see the male's bathroom, not the female's bathroom. But it's cool. If you end up going to Ulrich's quarry, make sure to let them know how you found out about them. So I'm trying to get this quarry kind of more publicly known about because I didn't even know about it. So yeah, let them know that Kyle at World of Rockhound sent you. And if you happen to see me out in the quarries, a mild Kyle out in the wild, as it were, come say hi. I promise I won't bite. I'm a little shy. but I enjoy the interaction of the people that actually support my content. So if you're watching this and you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It helps future videos like this. So that will do for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Rock on.